if they have what it takes.
MOUZ versus TYLOO. It's a battle of the Red Dragon versus the MOUZ, and we'll see which animal comes out on top today, Hawker. I would definitely fear the Dragon coming into this one, but MOUZ absolutely should be favored in this affair. T-side start for TYLOO. They gather outside of B. 4 players starting here for MOUZ.
A lot of utility for TYLOO to work with if they want to go for this push, and it looks likely it will be set up to the site shortly. JDC spots the early info, and they've spotted the bomb as well.
Yeah, BMAS good first pick. Bentet is down. Attacker coming in and finding the reply. Blinded to the kill. Dan King with a follow-up. And it's down to 3 players here for MOUZ. Under a lot of pressure, TYLOO applying it, continuing to move forward. And it's just Dexter, and they are going to get shredded. TYLOO don't even have to plant the bomb. It's all about headshots.
I actually think that's really important for TYLOO, because we even heard Bentet say in the interview after their earlier game that they were trying to bring Letney in as the coach, trying to play a more EU style of Counter-Strike, but they weren't really able to do so. And he didn't think their T side was, you know, stepping up on the TYLOO side. He thought it was their T side that was the issue. We saw that earlier when they played against Vitality. They only got 1 T round on Overpass in the whole half. So getting the T pistol early could definitely be what they needed to get off to a good start. Gotta make sure you don't lose against the pistols though, to make sure it is indeed that good start and not just a fake out.
Dexter. Oh, the Molly's going to go behind him, so he will still be able to peek on up. And they called the Molotov, so no one was expecting a player to be fighting from Con. Goes a little bit too deep, and Dexter gets another one. On the look back, Summer goes down. Kill comes through from Dan King, an attacker to reply though, and that's going to drop back into the 3v3, but Frozen. Piece in the back of the dice box. Dan King gets caught alone. Spacing is not good here from TYLOO. They're not really together, so the trading's not coming through efficiently at the moment. 55 seconds, still a recoverable round because MOUZ haven't got their hands on the better weapons yet. But still not a clean round so far from TYLOO.
Slowly sneaking in through long. Frozen just fell back from that position behind the dice box. So BMAS could maybe be isolated towards Truck, but it is fairly easy to tuck into that position. Smoke into bank, though, that will now allow the fight to be isolated. BMAS is able to step up for the first, and even though Soli's traded, 20 seconds left for him to get that bomb back and try and win this clutch.
Yeah, not a lot of time at all, and he should be going down to the pistol here. A body shot will take slowly out, and JDC will definitely get to land that 1-to-1. That's a TYLOO mishap on the T side. You mentioned earlier on, just at the beginning of this, you know, getting the pistol on the T side is a fantastic opportunity, but you have to convert off that. This is the first mistake. The Molotov goes too deep. They don't even think about Dexter being in top con. And then the rest of this play in particular from Dan King, he's just running in alone. There's no one close behind him. The spacing isn't good from TYLOO. There's no trades coming through efficiently. And then you're left to rely on the individuals to work you back into the round win. MOUZ are just going to play discipline in that situation and capitalize upon the opportunity. Now they've tied things up, and they're in the better position at the beginning of this game.
And that was the concerning thing about TYLOO's T side. We weren't sure if they would have that same sort of structure in place. It is interesting that they are going towards Overpass as a map. It might be the influence of having Letney in as the coach now on the team. But on the CT side, there are a fair few options for that aggression. Individuals can take plays solo. They can take aggressive fights. On the T side, though, Overpass is very much a map where you need solid utility and solid spacing to be able to take map control. We haven't really seen that in the initial round there from TYLOO. Now in this one, they've got some Deegs, but MOUZ won't be giving away any unnecessary fights.
"45 seconds hit already in the round. TYLOO have gained some ground up through the bathrooms, and that's what Slowly can do with his D. He gets one straight away. Dan King will follow up, and closing down the ground on Torsi has opened up the site. No problem for the plant here for TYLOO, and an opportunity once again arises for TYLOO to take a round back. The weaker guns might just be working out for both sides for the time being. JDC has arrived at the front of the retake attempt. And it's failure to find a kill for JDC, but BMAS will close it down. Problem is, TYLOO still have the extra player, and MOUZ still have to get on towards the site. They have no utility to deal with this one. I think they're starting to realize there's so much to clear, there's so much to deal with, and we don't really have time to do it. So the save call being made here for MOUZ, and it's TYLOO that bite right back with the Deegs.
Well, maybe they are going to get off to a good start after all then.
It's pretty back and forth.
Yeah. I think for the MOUZ side, they have got to make sure this A-site hold is shored up. And that's just an incredible shot that really opened it up. But the thing you see normally from teams on CT Overpass is oftentimes having a star rifler with the AWPer. For MOUZ, they've got Dexter right there playing alongside Torzi, which maybe makes it a little more difficult on some of those early fights, rather than having a star player in that position where he can just win the first fight and make it a lot easier to figure out if they can rotate or not. But they'll still have enough to get at least a decent buy together. And we saw earlier that they can definitely win these sorts of rounds.
No, TYLOO realized, okay, we've had our scare, we've had our misstep already very early in the game, so let's take this one a little slower. Let's be a little more methodical. Now, methodical wouldn't be a term that I would use for TYLOO a lot back in the day, but this variation of the team has been much better at being that methodical side, and that I think shows in the fact they like to pick Overpass now as their pick. They take their time. Flashes have been better. Creeping up long, taking a minute so far to play this round out.
Utility finally deployed. That smoke should allow them to start to close that gap. And Torzi will have to consider that as a potential opportunity once that smoke starts to fade. More utility being juggled. It looks like a heavy long play from TYLOO. Normally, this could be susceptible to counter utility, but in this round, MOUZ don't have many nades. They do have more smokes, but the push is going to be quick.
And it's coming right into the crosshair of Frozen, who sticks around in the same spot, trying to get a second kill from it. Ineffective in doing so, so it's Dexter that steps up, and with a Deeg, he finds the first. The rifle's good for the second. And Dexter still stands to do a little bit more. Dan King rapidly racing to the back of the side. He needs a kill, and he gets one, but it's not enough. Summer alone gets caught in the open, and Dexter with a 4K from the truck.
Heavy A plays early from TYLOO, but MOUZ able to handle it this time round. Just able to make sure that they get some of those early fights, because initially it looked like TYLOO were getting out from long, and you feel like that's going to be good for them. You see that flash coming in, Dexter able to get a kill onto the blinded player. TYLOO didn't ever get that foothold onto the site that they needed. Huge round coming through from Dexter. I was just talking about how it would be nice for him to step up if he is going to be playing on that A side of the map. Well, he definitely stepped up in that round on pretty tough position this time.
Yeah, that was great from Dexter. I think a bit too tentative, a bit too scared there from TYLOO, and that is a question mark around them. Obviously, they lost the second round after winning pistol. Probably puts a bit of fear into them not to drop a round like that, but you gotta actually still have that moment where you have the killer instinct to commit, to go and take those fights. Felt like that was more of a round that fizzled out. But now they're back to the Deegs, and we've seen what they can do with those already. Hawker, who knows? They might have something up their sleeve again.
Yeah, it is that full investment, but not much utility. So they will be relying largely on those Deegs. They are really loving these A-sided plays. Again, back to bathrooms, but this time MOUZ even have 3 CTs in position, and Torzi's won that first fight.
Yeah, Torzi does well. If the round continues to pan out like this, if the round continues to be this slow, filtering forward from TYLOO, MOUZ should have no issue with dealing with it with the superior weapons, and that's exactly what's going to happen. They go into the clothesline, and they get hung out to dry. Clean from MOUZ. Every player stays alive. TYLOO fizzle out. And don't even get close to a bomb plant, so money is looking rough here for TYLOO. Let's see what they're able to pick up going into the future rounds, but this should be another MOUZ round to be picked up.
Yeah, This should be now finally a position where one of the teams can take control of the economy early. It's taken a little longer than usual. You know what, Dinko? I personally am supporting TYLOO in this one. And you know the reason? You know the reason? Because we lost against Frozen in a wingman, and he just destroyed us. It was not fun.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. So you're bringing up a bad memory there, Hawker. Yeah, but I'm now on your side. Completely unbiased casters, of course.
We want revenge.
I'd love to play. Imagine just playing TYLOO. It'd just be a freakish experience. Just getting their aim is so good to watch. You know, I was sitting with Maui Snake one day, just kind of talking about, you know, watching TYLOO play. They don't play the most beautiful Counter-Strike a lot of the time, but man, it looks like they're robots sometimes with their aim. It's just incredibly accurate.
It's so fun. And it feels like a throwback to me, TYLOO, when they do play that ridiculous style. They're a throwback to a simpler time in CS where everyone was just kind of playing and not really taking it all that seriously. Like I'd say like 5 years ago, teams were taking it serious, but it just wasn't as evolved as it is now. Yeah,
the game looks very different than what it did back then. And so when a team comes over, you don't see at all throughout the year, and they come over from Asia, and they bring with them the wild ability. That's when the upsets really start to come through.
The interesting thing with TYLOO actually is Letney was talking in an interview and saying they want to be staying in Europe basically all the time. And they're only wanting to go back to Asia now for the RMRs and for those qualifying events that they have to play.
And
so
that was the plan before the pandemic as well, right? They had a house out in Ukraine actually, the TYLOO side, and they started boot camp there and stayed there, and their plan was to play the last event of the year. Bentet had just signed over to Gen G, so they brought in this new roster, and they were going to stick together heading into like the pro leagues, etc. And they wanted to just stay in Europe and play. And unfortunately, all that got cut short because they had to go home. And from that point onwards, I think the level kind of degraded because of the fact they were out there in Asia for so long, just winning everything. And we actually seen Vici, now called Rare Atom, rise up, and they became actually the #1 team in Asia, in China. So yeah, it's been a long road here for TYLOO, but it's cool to see, in a way, it's cool to see Bentet back. Obviously, it would have been nice to see him actually find some success in North America and Europe, but he's come back to the TYLOO team, and they're going to actually play in Europe, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. It's a tough job for Letney, I think. You know, it's not an easy job to go and coach TYLOO, so fair play to him. Good luck to him.
He was talking about the language barriers too. He was saying he'd learned most of the Chinese callouts now, so he was starting to get at least some grasp of what was going on.
That's cool.
So there you go. He's getting there, slowly but surely. Round 7 underway. TYLOO back to the rifles, and the AK will have a chance for a fight. Dexter almost caught in connector. A little lucky to get away with his life there. BMAS will take some aggression of his own in towards short. TYLOO are watching for these fights though. And brawling against TYLOO is not normally a great idea, so MOUZ do decide to drop back.
Yeah, Dexter taking the brunt of the damage this time around. The Hungarian sniper scoped towards long. Torsi waiting for the peek around. Minute 5 seconds left on the clock. Looks to move into position to cover off his damaged in-game leader. Under 1 minute left. Utility finally deployed out. TYLOO keep throwing this deep long smoke. Because they set the precedent, they actually play behind it a couple rounds prior. You have to respect it if you're MOUZ. You have to assume that there is presence behind that smoke.
Yeah, Dexter was just peeking for info. I wonder if he goes back for more, jiggling, seeing if he can spot anyone, but they're sneaking up on him, and that's going to be a freebie for Dan King. Now we need to see a reaction from MOUZ. 30 seconds remaining. It's Torsi on the hold.
Still posted up. Shot is good onto Attacker, but not enough damage done to bring down Attacker. TYLOO with 20 seconds, don't have a lot of time, but they are on towards the site now, but the bomb leaps towards the truck, and that opens them up to a shot for Torsi. Bomb is now down. It is loose for TYLOO. Another one has to go across. Bentet down to the AWP, and 5 seconds left. Finally, Summer starts to lock in. The plant slowly covers him off, and with those 2 kills, that might just secure the round. BMAS in 2 minds about what to do here. He has no utility left. There is a kit on his back. He has full health and plenty of time. But there's 3 players to try and claim the lives of, still alive in TYLOO. And every second that ticks on by, BMAS realizes the save call is the more advised decision. Just gonna hear the drop down, a couple of sound cues going forward, but BMAS wants to hold on to the AK-47. Backing off deeper into the bank. It'll be a P saved as well. Not bad there for Bimaster. Obviously on 100 HP, no issue saving in the corner. And that is going to be the round for TYLOO. 3 picked up already here on their attacking side.
Has been a lot of A plays from TYLOO. See if that's something that MOUZ start to pick up on. Because the response to that can definitely be taking some B aggression, taking some map control, and then just having 3 players or even more stacked on A. But a solid site take, and not much utility there for TYLOO for the site take. It took a long time for that dumpster smoke to be deployed. We're a little fortunate maybe that TYLOO didn't land a shot there that was critical. It was through the truck, so it didn't get the kill outright.
Worth noting, very slow start for Bintet as well. Often called the best player in Asia, 0-6 at the moment. Always a question around how the in-game leadership will affect his individual performance. We'll see if he can get on the board in this round. Torzi plays front bathrooms.
There's a good bit of utility from TYLOO to take away his options early. That will allow them to take the map control they want in towards top mid, starting to move towards bathrooms. They've also been able to control connector. So again, TYLOO just working on that early map control. And they haven't used too much utility in order to do so. You have seen already MOUZ play that playstyle where they are pretty reliant on the fights. In that previous round, for example, Dexter just going for an individual duel. And when he loses it, that's when TYLOO can accelerate onto the A site. 40 seconds remaining here, though. This time it's finally a B-sided play from TYLOO. Summer's got an entry.
Yes, the patience for TYLOO, that's their strength right now. Not something I thought I'd be saying anytime soon, but it's working for them. They now attack into the B side. Good couple of kills coming in here for MOUZ. Bimas and Torji bringing down 2, traded out effectively by Attacker. 3v3 will ensue, but luckily Frozen getting away with 1 onto Bintet. That's the bomb loose. Dexter able to get a kill back, and is now danking with 10 seconds left to pull off the 1v3. He goes for the fake tap, and that's just going to allow them to drop in the time. Is he really going for it? He goes for the peeks on out. Could have got the plant in, and it would have made a big difference, honestly. Would have got some extra cash on top of these players. But now without that, you can't even really warrant an investment with Kevlar and a pistol. It's all crumbled here upon the B entry.
Yeah, they were able to get that early pick. They were able to get towards the site, but the rotate was solid from MOUZ. You see Dexter able to play ahead of that smoke. And unfortunately, TYLOO not getting the bomb down. Yeah. I agree. I think they could have just committed to the plant there. Would have been nice to have a little bit of extra utility behind this buy. Because Attacker can still buy the AK, but he's blinded.
It's gone. It's out of there very early on. Dexter brings down Attacker, and starting to look good now for MOUZ.
No one else has Kevlar either. But maybe Bintet can try and get his first kill on the board. That is something MOUZ do pretty often, just simple flash plays. One good flash that they rely on to set up their teammate. And normally I'd say they are fairly effective when they run those sorts of plays. That's a nice little lineup for JDC. After he got domed at the start of the previous round. Nice for him to be able to get a couple of kills on the board. Bomb control now taken by MOUZ with that smoke down to block the vision of Bintet. So it should be a very comfortable round for MOUZ. And that is pretty important for them because their money was starting to run low. They could have been broken, but they'll probably realize now, let's just hold all these guns. And with that fight being won, they should be safe to do so.
What do you make of MOUZ's performances so far here in Cologne?
I think MOUZ just don't have a real standout player outside of Torzi. And even he's a good AWPer, but I don't think they have a superstar anymore. I'm actually looking at someone like either a Frozen or a BMAS to try and step up for MOUZ right now. I think Frozen's playing a slightly more aggressive role, so I don't think he's going to be able to put up crazy numbers. But I actually think BMAS is taking a lot of Rops's old spots and is playing a lot of the sort of passive positions. So I would actually like to see a bit more out of BMAS on this team.
Yeah, I think with Rops leaving, I think many people just expected the step up to come from Frozen, right?
Yeah.
But that hasn't really come to pass to the level everybody was kind of hoping for, and perhaps because of the role situation as you were mentioning. but definitely feels like there is a bit more needed to be squeezed out of this team. But right now against TYLOO, it's a great performance early on, 6-3. CT side seems to be settled in quite well. TYLOO with another buy round. Galil here for attacker. AK-47's out, but a significant lack of utility. And given how slow TYLOO have played throughout this T side, utility is very important on Overpass. And that is going to cost them. One flash ineffective. Torji stays committed into the fight at top middle and comes away with the life of summer.
Good start for MOUZ. Torzi is one of the players that has been delivering for them at this event. In their Inferno win over Heroic, he was huge for them. Ooh, JDC not able to find success on the hold. A couple of rounds now where he's had a tough time locking down this B site. The trades are still solid for MOUZ though, but this time the bomb plant might be able to go down. The molly's going to make that awkward though. Bentet forced away. Now he'll try and get back into position. Is there another molly? Oh no!
Oh yeah, they just keep coming.
Oh, he's
found
okay.
yeah, he's protected here somehow. He's found a little bit of a gap to play with. DanKing in the meantime taking one life up towards heaven, and another molly taking out Bentet. Oh, he's just getting fire after fire and frozen. Oh, he fights fire with ice and comes through with a kill on DanKing.
Jeez, that looked like a quick flick.
That was indeed.
Wow.
That was incredible.
Yeah, he just looked like he had no idea that the player was going to peek on that side, and yet still reacts.
This is the easy pick. You know, dodge the flash, easy with the kill. Commitment into the site. Pumas, they're not really under pressure. There's no smokes available for TYLOO. The lack of cash really coming back to bite them, and Bentet just couldn't dodge the fire. Just felt like they had an infinite amount of mollies just attacking that one spot.
Especially rough when you are having a tough game already.
Yeah, nothing's
you just
going
want that
right for you.
first kill. You can't get it. There's Torzi again.
It's another one. He's starting to get going now.
This was the scary thing for TYLOO. I was saying that I think they'll be able to be a little more competitive than you might expect because MOUZ are a team who are willing to just take fights and go for flash peaks pretty often. But on the other side of that, they have a lot of players on the MOUZ side that are pretty effective at that play style. Torzi probably top of the list. JDC has pushed all the way through B, so this A stack is solid. And without the utility to force Torzi off the angle, he's not going to miss those shots very often.
He's not going to do that. Not being tested here without being forced to stop. Oh, his teammate gets shredded. That's a nice first kill for Bentet to pick up. Dexter goes down, Summer with a dig as well. Bimas comes up with a rifle and lines up two to close it out. Not bad here at all for MOUZ. Torzi getting a couple of easy kills right from the get-go at the beginning of these rounds, fighting up in towards middle and dropping back, finding more impact. The Deeks of TYLOO are always scary. For a long time, they were the best team in the world at the second round bye after losing the pistol with the Deeks, right? So obviously with the region they're playing in, the stats do get a little bit skewed, but always scary when they got the hand cannons. MOUZ do a good job at silencing those few kills. Oh, a boost about to be assembled here. Hawker, what we got for DanKing?
Oh! I was looking at his player cam. It looked like he was eating something as he took a shot. I'm very confused by that.
He's
but
feasting on Beamas's soul.
Apparently. You don't
And
see
not
that
shoes.
boost work too often nowadays, honestly.
You
a lot
don't,
of teams
no.
are ready for it.
Yeah, you don't. It was quick. Nice quick shot there from DanKing. Oh, slowly see a pixel surely of Dexter peeking out towards middle. Doesn't like recommit to the angle.
Well, here is some of the B aggression that I was saying might be an option for MOUZ. This door opened. Oh, Torzi could have had the shot blind, but instead Frozen doubles down on the wall bang. And Attacker is also down to 10 health. The aggression from JDC just caught him out. It was looking pretty good for TYLOO, but that wall bang, that lineup from Frozen was absolutely everything here. And now TYLOO have to salvage the round, and the bomb isn't even in their possession right now.
Oh, a lovely little taps from Slowly. That's going to pull Dexter back into the grave, and 2v2 established with 35 seconds left. Bomb down in water. Frozen looking to go ahead and try and claim that information. He's got himself in a deep position at short. He's going to start hearing presence, steps, flashes starting to come towards him. He knows if he just holds, he catches the shadow, slowly commits to it. Summer has to trade it out and now thrusts himself into the 1 versus 1. Oh, unfortunately, not expecting heaven, looking for JDC elsewhere, and the kill will come from up above. 9-3 here for MOUZ, keeping this one clean, and starting to get themselves an incredibly strong CT half. Now, it is worth saying, today hasn't been great for the Germans in Cologne. We've lost both of the teams with German presence with Sprout, and obviously Big being the one that really broke the hearts of many German fans. So the team that still has a shot is MOUZ here. We've got JDC, we've got a German organization, I believe, and so good opportunity at least to still move forward.
Yeah, hopefully they can continue this success. They're 9-3 up right now on TYLOO's pick. I don't know if TYLOO need many more T rounds to keep this competitive though. They will be relying on the second half pistol if they don't win many more, but they're definitely better on that CT side. Maybe they can make something happen in this round. It was only the pistols, but attackers picked up one opening frag. Was quickly traded, but that will leave MOUZ a little more spread on this CT side. Frozen, solid spray, able to adjust for the second. And that is the problem with the Deegs. As soon as you miss the first shot, if you commit to the angle, you are going to be exposed and vulnerable. That's what happens there for TYLOO. Couple of missed shots, couple of easy kills for Frozen, who is up to 13 frags now, having a solid game.
Oh, Bimas is going to hear the steps inside a connector. Summer comes around. Bimas is going to easily take him away. Headshot lands. Bintet left in a 1 versus 4. 30 seconds left on the clock. Oh, Bintet now. Attention drawn towards him. Frozen peeks out, takes his life away. 10 rounds picked up for MOUZ. Solid first half already picked up for MOUZ. You said you don't need many more for TYLOO to keep this one competitive, but no more, that would be definitely a different story. They have a round coming up where they have a bye back again. They would love to try and push forward. 5 is the best case scenario left for the side of TYLOO in this half. But MOUZ have just not really let this one get out of hand at all, right? TYLOO are barely getting onto the sites. They've got to show us something different here, TYLOO. You can't keep losing this first kill in mid.
4-man A setup early from MOUZ, so they might even stick around for this mid fight a little longer than you'd usually expect. It looks like they want to go aggressive here. There's only the 1 T on the other side, so Summer could be in trouble if he's not careful.
Torsy's adjustments are so quick. His AWP flick out there from the fountain out to playground was incredibly fast, but and there's the rifle that takes the first kill in mid. JDC is going to start realizing they're coming into the B side, trying to catch the timing on the leap up onto the default box and gets caught by the flash. Instead, he goes into the bridge smoke, is able to get away with 1. Quick trade from Slowly. And now the plant will come through here for TYLOO. They lock it in, but holding onto it, ensuring the round win is going to be more difficult, especially with that quick Frozen flank around the back. Dan King down. It's now Bintet and Slowly, and they realize if they sit on the site, they are sitting ducks, and the round will go the other way. So they move forward, they try to be proactive, but MOUZ clean it up nonetheless. They just lose 2 players in total. 11 rounds collected for MOUZ. And things are just going from bad to worse for TYLOO in this first half. At least the bomb plant and the loss bonus all adds up for a good buy to try and close this one out. But that best case scenario 5 now is 4.
I like that play from JDC. Was solo B in that round because there was the 4-man A stack. So gets ahead into the smoke. Just annoying enough there to get the 1 kill. And even though he's traded, buys a little bit of extra time for his team to get into position. He also had that molly on a good timing to slow things down initially. And as you said, Dinko, at the end there, TYLOO kind of just sitting ducks, not good positions to get into the post plant. If only they were the Mighty Ducks, maybe they'd have had a chance.
Give them a good locker room speech at halftime, Hawker. See if they can come out swinging.
Wow, round 15. I think TYLOO need at least 1 more here to be any level of comfort into that second half.
Yeah, Torsy's so comfortable. He's just talking to his player on the right side. He's not even looking at the screen. He's like, all right, yeah, it's a little stroll in the park. Have a little peek on out. Dexter with the rifles gone towards Fountain. TYLOO have decided, all right, they're just wrecking us in mid. Let's just go back to B. And it might work for them. There's one player here right now, and it's JDC.
Yeah, and you think he can't make the same move as last round, or TYLOO would be ready for it. He's also dumped his utility earlier this time, so he doesn't have the same counter utility. He may just have to give up this site.
The call to go has been quite quick here for TYLOO, and the flank from Dexter being watched by Danking. He's seen it. Now Dexter rendered ineffective.
No nades for TYLOO though, and look at MOUZ's utility. Well, look at the shot from Bentet. Might not matter.
Yeah, Bentet's done well there. JDC is down, reminding us of his ability. Hasn't been a lot of moments from Bentet throughout this one, but that shot might make a difference in the final round of this first half. Summer holding off the connector doorway. MOUZ begin to move through with a retake attempt. It's a quick kill from Summer. Bimas trades it out. Bentet with another headshot in the round. TYLOO keeping numbers up and closing down in the numbers of MOUZ. It is 4 at the half for TYLOO. A strong first half performance from MOUZ. They are looking to close Overpass as we head into the second half. (11-4) at the half for MOUZ as they lead the way versus TYLOO, limiting the amount of numbers they could have posted on the T side. MOUZ going to be feeling good about closing this one out as we enter the second half. Danking looking to get off to a good start for TYLOO. Fights through middle, unable to find the opening, but sticks around and eventually does get his chance to open up the round in the second half. You'll stay here, maintain control of bathrooms, and slowly with the Joe Berettas moves forward. I thought he was about to catch Bimas, but he turns back, and the kill now back in the hands of MOUZ. 4v4 as they start to settle on the B side. They want to finish the pistol here.
Attacker was fighting at range, but not able to land the early shots, but there's a massive stack ready on this B site. Attacker round the side, good shot initially, and now Summer will come into play. 2 more CTs in water, push coming in, and somehow JDC's got a double. It was looking good for TYLOO with the stack, but JDC had other ideas.
Yeah, he wants to keep Germany in Cologne. He's done very well. 12 and 8 right now. He's having a better performance from JDC overall. I mean, everybody in the team from MOUZ is stepping up and having their moments, so he's climbed the ladder a bit. He was lagging behind, but starting to come back into it too, equaling out with some of his teammates.
Oh man.
Lovely. Just dives right into the mix and then closes it with a USP. He picked up off the ground, 12-4. With MOUZ finding the pit stop, starting to really decrease the chances of TYLOO staying in this one, especially with the lack of force buy here. They've gone for the full USP eco stack towards long side. I think at this point, I would have liked to have seen a TYLOO force. I think they're good enough to win these kind of rounds. But doing this is going to concede 13, and from that point onwards, it's going to be very, very difficult.
It is tough when you're losing like this on your map pick, though. You just want that gun round on the CT side. You want it as soon as possible because we've seen what TYLOO can do on their CT side of this map.
Yeah. There's a bit of extra cash here on Dan King, so you might be able to get that AWP out if he can get a kill in this round. That might help matters out a bit.
Our players close by, but I think TYLOO will now realize we've lost the sight. Frozen decides he doesn't need to take that duel at range. Nice and disciplined from MOUZ. No eco hunters yet. Toolsy's thinking about it, I can tell.
We should have like a TV show called Eco Hunters. And it's like a reality show about Counter-Strike, and blame F's the star. No, I feel like there was a couple of players you could definitely throw in there. Maybe some of your friends at home. Tag your friend. They're an Eco Hunter on ESL CS channels on Twitter. Go ahead. I'm going to tag you now, Hawk, actually.
I'm not an eco hunter. You're more of an eco hunter than me, I'd say.
All right, okay, yeah. I get kills against the ecos.
All right, all right. Well, hey, Dan King has got that AWP. He has had to spend every single penny on that sniper. They say don't put all your eggs into one basket. Well, Dan King thinks otherwise. He trusts the sturdy AWP in his hands. Mostly M4A4s coming out for TYLOO. Looks like they've been reading the updates. They want to go ahead and have the ability for more multi-kills. Dan King forced away early. He was incredibly confident in the earlier game against MIBR, taking a lot of these aggressive angles. Let's see if it works against MOUZ.
Are they boosting? Oh, this could be very scary. This could be real rough, but Dan King's luckily got away from it. He's even considering that maneuver as well. MOUZ not going to be going into middle. Instead, they'll start to transition their focuses back over to long. It's not to have a picnic. It's about to be a walk into the bathrooms. Dan King repositions further back to the site, and now we'll scope up and take a look at long. We see this deep long smoke come through, gaining more ground, creating cover for MOUZ to play with, and they can start to get closer and closer to this A site and try and pop behind the smoke into the site. If numbers get close to Dan King, they could overrun and overwhelm the AWP within the site.
Summer's going to arrive in time. The rotate just now arriving, but he's got to get here now.
Yeah, Dan King's under a lot of pressure. Utility really forcing him back in Summer. He just commits into it, just sends himself right in the midst of battle. It's 1 kill for Summer, holds down and gets a second on the long play. JDC with 2, turns back, and another one found from JDC. Finally, Attacker will bring down Dexter, equalize the numbers on the player count again. JDC is worried about committing to the plant because it will put him out of commission and open up a chance to leap towards the fight, and he doesn't have a teammate close. Finally, BMAS will arrive, but he's on 10 HP, which means JDC has to do pretty much everything, and he has no problem doing that. 4 kills already. JDC closes with all 5. A fantastic round from JDC. He'll pick up the AWP as well. He is having a lights-out performance here at the start of the second half, and he is barreling towards the win for MOUZ.
Wow, I thought this was going to be a tough post plant because he was stuck on the site. They were both low on the MOUZ side. BMAS threw that flash a little early, so it had to be the fight's drive from JDC. But getting that first headshot is absolutely everything. It means that they can work together in the 2v1. As soon as BMAS starts fighting, JDC peeks to trade his teammate. Fantastic round from him. And unfortunately for TYLOO, their setup was not well equipped to deal with that exact play from MOUZ. Bentet started the round in Connector. He normally is one of the A players, but occasionally he'll start in Con. And this time, that was not the correct call. Danking got run down pretty quickly, even with the rifle support. MOUZ still had to work hard to win the round, but they get it. And now they've got a 14-4 lead. This could be a pretty brutal loss here for TYLOO on their pick.
Yeah, it just doesn't really feel like they've been in this at all. We haven't seen what TYLOO will bring us on Ancient. It was a map they started to play recently enough, but out of the Asian RMR, it didn't look great for them. And the changes, I don't think anybody's particularly solid on the map at the moment. We see even MOUZ earlier today have a few weaknesses, but you definitely should favor MOUZ on Ancient versus TYLOO. The series gets very rough for TYLOO if they go out on Overpass like this. If they go back to this B stack, MOUZ might have a bit of an issue. TYLOO, this is their best chance to win the round. If they commit into this, this is TYLOO's best opportunity to take 5 rounds off of this.
Still plenty of time for MOUZ, but because they have no one towards A, they may feel like they have to send this onto the B site. As the time continues to tick on down, they have to be concerned that TYLOO have some information or maybe a push through A. That's exactly what is happening. Bentet has cleared out mid entirely, so they can be ready and stick with this stack.
Slowly, piece on through. BMAS able to take one life away. Torsey follows up. A couple of kills here for TYLOO upon the entrance. But you're going to need much more, and Summer is the player that needs to deliver it. And unfortunately for Summer, had a window of opportunity, but the window was very small. And JDC shuts it down on his fingers. 15-4 now. Looking real good for MOUZ. Just one away from closing this first map out in convincing style.
I'm glad we've had the player cams too, because I think you can see just how comfortable MOUZ are in this map right now. A lot of smiles. I think Dexter was just shooting his teammate for fun there after the round was over. They look very relaxed. They don't look like they're feeling the pressure, despite this being an elimination game. It makes sense. It has been going swimmingly for MOUZ. Unfortunately for TYLOO, they're kind of drowning.
Yeah, big time. There's no lifeboats.
Dragons can't swim.
Yeah, they can. Unless you're a water dragon. Oh, Danking and Bentet. Couple of kills. Oh, BMAS at least pulling one back. Just a short walk through the smoke for Slowly. Almost a necessary play, but at this point when so much is going wrong, sometimes you can let slip a few details of your game, and Slowly gives it away. Attacker under more pressure because of that, and MOUZ see an opening. They smell blood in the water. Molly
will mean that Bentet can't help his teammate. Attacker is going to be swung on by multiple players. No way in for him. The boost also toppled by JDC. And now Danking smoked off. The bomb will go down. But there's a fight given to Bentet and a chance.
Oh, and Torsey taking damage within the site. He's down to 48 HP. Off at the back of that, and the wall bite successful on the Torsey to remove him. BMAS looking for the clutch. The 1v2 to try and close this one out. Danking down. Bentet, the second victim. BMAS has run out of ammo. It's to the Glock he will go. And Bentet able to bring him down. TYLOO not done yet. They will stand to fight, at least for another round. Bentet delivering a 3K. Finally showing some impact here, and it does come down to the fact his opponent runs out of ammo. But you'll take everything you can get here, TYLOO. Another round at least. Some extra server time.
Yeah, those are the late round scenarios I was talking about earlier that BMAS is often left in. And I think he oftentimes has a pretty good idea of how to play those clutch scenarios. But sometimes he can just struggle to put the pieces together and fully win in these positions. That was obviously a tough one with very little ammo remaining at the end there. Definitely good to see Bentet having a bit more impact. Still a buy on the MOUZ side. Hopefully for TYLOO's sake they can break that bank soon, because that's the only way they're going to have a chance to even consider getting back into this one. Double push through Monster. This is a play TYLOO run fairly frequently. They like to go for this Monster aggression, and Slowly is able to hunt down BMAS. So a 1-for-1 trade, and now MOUZ feel like they've got to up the tempo towards A.
Oh, Bentet, good kill. A second found as well. Torsey and Frozen brought down very quickly. Dexter able to reply with a headshot back, and now a 3 versus 2. And it's favoring TYLOO. minute left in the clock, though, and MOUZ have worked their way into competitive positions in rounds they haven't looked like they have a shot in. So you won't be counting them out. JDC to poke and prod in towards short. Nade's not good. It's going to bounce back. A little bit of splashback. Luckily wasn't in the bathrooms.
You got a chuckle out of me.
There we go, Hawker. I did it.
Good work.
Broke you. JDC's come back out through connector. Dan King, he's holding the bathroom entrance, and JDC intelligently avoids that. They'll walk with Dexter as they're gaining some ground. They're getting quite a bit of ground here in the final few seconds. 25 left on the timer. They're on towards the A site. Smoke available too on Dexter.
Dan King's still in bathrooms, and he's starting to come in from that flank. He might go wide.
If he goes wide, he will get a good angle here to take a kill, but the smoke is up. The boost over the top, and that's the kill for Dan King. It protects Dexter for the time being within that smoke, but it's a 1v3 with the AWP. And Dexter, the in-game leader, looks to try and close this one for MOUZ. Needs an incredible clutch. First kill is good, but stays in the open too long, and Summer quick to trade it out. Able to peek on up. Another round for TYLOO. They will stay within this for another round at least. We'll see how much that bomb plant affords to the MOUZ side. It's not enough to get a good buy again, so maybe some upgraded pistols here, but should be another round for TYLOO.
You know what, Dinko? I want to start a revolution, right?
Okay, all right, here we go. Right, who are we getting together? What kind of mantra are we looking for here,
All I'm
Hawker?
saying is, if you put a number in your name, I'm just going to read your name from now on as if there's the number in there. So Dan King is now Dan Kawanung. Because I'm not a fan of putting the numbers in the names. I don't like it.
All right.
Actually, Dan
how do you
King's
say
isn't too
Zipex?
Zip 9x.
Zip 9x, okay. That sounds pretty cool.
It actually sounds pretty cool.
What about Ben Lee?
I don't even want to start.
Yeah, you kind of, yes, the revolution has failed already, as many do, as most do, in fact. We will maybe attempt in a few years again. But Dexter,
behind them.
it's not the way you want to go out here at TYLOO. This is not the round you want to lose to close out your map pick. MOUZ have stormed their way through, and with the pistols have got their way onto the A site, looking to be brutal onto the TYLOO side. The kill and attacker has come through. It's now just a rifle and an AWP left to try and get back into the site. Still 4 players you have to claim the lives of. Slowly starts with the first. Torchy down. Slowly getting some ground and seeing another one. It's a quick kill. Slowly taking everybody down. Defuse needs to get on now for Dan King, and he's going to stick it around the corner. Dexter gets caught. His movement moves against him, and he will end up losing the round. A little scary for TYLOO, but they are able to get back in with some heroics from Slowly.
Solid stuff from Slowly. He's always been one of the players on TYLOO that I feel like has had solid game knowledge, solid understanding of what he needs to do in positions. He's really a reliable player for TYLOO, and you see that come through here as he transfers. Dan King also able to get the no-scope at the end. And I thought that it was going to be MOUZ trying to cancel my revolution just by winning the game and getting me off the air, but apparently not yet.
Just silence you right away.
The revolution will be televised, Dinka. It will be.
It's not really. I don't think you're going to have many people signing up for your revolution, to be honest. I don't think it's one that many people are going to care about, so we'll put a pin in that one, I think. Maybe for another day. Maybe if you come up with a more compelling reason, well, we might join you on that one.
I just need to recruit people for my revolution.
Sounds like a scheme of sorts, perhaps.
Yeah, some sort of scheme. Do you have a name for that scheme?
A triangle, maybe?
Sure.
But we can maybe make it like 3D and get a pyramid or something going.
Yeah.
I think it's multi-level marketing these days, Hawker, so make sure you be smart about it.
Of course.
Buyback for MOUZ. We've seen what they could do with weaker guns in the previous, so every round's a scary one for TYLOO.
BMAS into water. Is it BMAS or BMAS? Did we ever get to the bottom of this?
Well, if he goes to the B site, it's BMAS.
Yeah.
Any other time, it's BMAS.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to call him BMAS because he's close to B right now. Depends which site he's closer to.
Yeah.
He's going to be selling some presents towards B, and TYLOO currently have a 4-man stack down on this site. They might go for some aggression here. Flash in is fantastic. He's so blind, he's going to be dead, but Torzi gets back in time for the trade. Oh, hearing all the steps is Bentep.
He's going to hear them. Oh, and they are not going to see him. He gets around the backside. MOUZ, oh, lucky to turn around. That should have been a little bit more for Pintet. 1 kill and down. That works for MOUZ. They'll be happy with that. They'll take it as they get in towards the A site. Smokes are up, and that's going to lock the TYLOO players out. If they want to keep themselves alive, once again, they have to make a retake happen on this A site. Difference is this time, they're going to have to deal with the AKs. There is not a lot of utility left here for MOUZ. They have 1 flash. So they are staying on the site. They want to fight. They want to close this one with bullets, and that's going to be JDC nearly getting the lineup of 2, but Frozen will assist him, and it's all down to Summer. 1 flash left in hand, and he will go down. MOUZ will take map 1 of this series, and are damn close to heading through to the main event. We'll see if they can close it out versus TYLOO. After the break, we'll break this one down, and then we'll head on to map 2.